if I told you that your Protestant practices can be found on the most ancient practices in Africa? No, I don't mean to suggest that you're practicing traditional African spirituality in your Sunday worship. But what if the Reformation itself learned theology from ancient African Christians that survives today in the modern church? As you can all see from the title here, the subject that I'm hoping to talk to you about is the Ethiopian influence on the Protestant Reformation. Now, the first question that someone might ask reasonably, I think, would be why? Why study the topic? The main reason for studying the topic is that history tells us a lot about where we are today because we are examining causes for events that took place in the past. For many of us in America, questions about Christianity often come up in these discussions of race and power structures, so the topic of the discussion here is as relevant as ever. So now for the historical question. What role did the African church play, if at all, in the Protestant Reformation? The answer to that question might surprise you, as it seems to be that it had a great deal to do with one of the largest branches of Christianity. Recent scholarship has uncovered a plethora of interesting facts about Luther and his interaction with the Ethiopian church. Within the last few years, scholars have begun to translate letters of the companions of Luther, such as Philip Melanchthon, who recounts the visits of Ethiopians who discussed theology with Martin Luther. Now, Luther was apparently so encouraged by the knowledge and existence of believers in Ethiopia because it lacked the Roman papacy, indulgences, conciliar authorities, and yet remained theologically orthodox. Luther's commentaries, for example, contain over 85 references to the Ethiopians specifically, as Luther came to view them as a beacon of hope, given their apparent prominence in Scripture. It was these facts, for Luther, which seemed to give him the validity he needed to pursue his mission. No longer could Luther be told that he was deviating from the one true faith, for Luther could confidently state that God had a remnant elsewhere, a family tree to which he could trace his roots while rejecting the Roman Catholic system. That is, Luther cannot be accused of novelties, as he so often was by his opponents in the opposing religious system. It may also surprise you to note that although it has been over 500 years since the start of the Reformation, many of these resources are only just being translated into English. What we have here is largely unknown to Western audiences and only being discussed by a handful of scholars such as Paolo Stanislaw and the recently departed David D. Daniels. But if these facts are true, many of our modern conversations about Christianity, race, and power structures can be informed by the unity that these Christians found in the Scriptures and orthopraxy.